What's going on, Giants fans? Welcome back to another episode of the New York Giants True Big Blue podcast. I'm your host, G Nation's Big Blue Lou. My co-host, Big Pat Sports Talk, will be on shortly, and we will have some guys popping on, um, and we'll talk about some of the rumors and some of the allegations being made um, about John Mara and this organization, Chris Mara, Gettleman, Joe Judge, and the staff and the organization on some of the mistakes they've made, some of the rumors that are coming out, allegations that are coming out, some of the tweets and posts that people are making. Um, we'll also take some time to talk about this great man right here. May he rest in peace, and our condolences to his wife and their family. Um, can't say enough about this man's impact on football, on the game, on teaching, on just general philosophy, and being an all around good guy. Um, he was never fake. He was always himself. He lived his life to the fullest. He did everything to the best of his ability, and he was family and football first. Uh, I grew up with the game. I grew up watching him as a broadcaster. I watched him draw on the telestrator. I mean, just he was a part of our home. He was a part of our family, and he made you feel like he was in your living room watching the game with you. It felt like he was part of the family. Um, that's a talent that not a lot of people have, a charisma that not a lot of people are born with, a kinetic energy, an energy that just draws people to him and makes you pay attention and focus on him, what he's saying and what he's doing. He just had that je ne sais quoi, that it factor. And he will be missed greatly. And I just wanted to point out um, that in that 2007 run to the New York Giants Super Bowl against the Patriots when they were 18-0, in week 16, uh, everybody was talking about rest Strahan and rest all the starters. We got nothing to play for in that game. And Tom Coughlin and the New York Giants decided to go out there and play and go for broke. And in that game, though they lost by 3 points, came up short at the end, um, they lost 38-35 in a game that was a shootout. In a game where the 18-0 Patriots, best team in football, gave us their best shot, and we hung right in there with them until the very last second. That game let them know that they can beat them if they see them again, and it gave them the confidence that carried them through the playoffs on that phenomenal run when they ended Brady's season at 18-1. But after that Week 16 game, Coach John Madden, the legend himself, called Tom Coughlin and left him a voicemail thanking him for not resting the guys, for letting the guys go out there and compete for a full 60 minutes of football and give it their all. And he said in that message verbatim, football needed that. And he said other few things. He got emotional. He said that he was so proud of Tom Coughlin and the New York Giants for going out there and playing because there was too much of that stuff going on at that time. Arrest the players, you don't want to hurt them and all that. And he said that kills the competition. I'm paraphrasing now. That kills the competition. Football's supposed to be competitive. You play to win. And to his credit, Tom Coughlin played that for the team, inspired them, and they went on and won the Super Bowl. But this was a man who lived, breathed football, who made that call after a game to Tom Coughlin and left him a message thanking him in the middle of the night on a game that had nothing to do with him that he didn't call because Carl Banks and them called that game. I remember it. Um, and he took the time out of his personal life to call Tom Coughlin and congratulate him and commend him for what he did. This was a man who lived football. And Commissioner Roger Goodell said it best when he said he was football. And he taught 3 or 4 generations about the game. He made it so entertaining that women started wanting to learn what football was about and watch the games with their men, and fathers with their sons, sons with their fathers, family. And so, once again, our condolences to the Madden family, and a moment of silence for the great John Madden. May you rest in peace. You're with God now, my brother. With that being said, um, I'm going to talk about some of these rumors and things that have happened, that have been coming out here in the past 48 hours about, you know, people having signs on their desk and all this other stuff and mocking. Sorry about that. Had to close the door. Mac,
What's going on, Lou?
what's good, homie?
See, man, up here. Rest in peace, John Madden, man. It's a tough one, man.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to deal with. It messed me up when I heard it yesterday. I was like, man,
Yeah, it caught me off
Madden,
guard too when I got the alert on my phone about it.
and I don't know where Pat is. Pat's supposed to. This is supposed to be our podcast.
But
uh,
yeah, as I say, I was talking. I just finished up my NFC East roundup a minute ago, man, and I was just talking to beginning. I was talking about Madden a little bit too, man. It's a tough loss, man. Like I said, John Madden meant a lot to the football world in general, man. It's not just about his commentary. He was coaching. He was an ambassador of the league, man, and it's just it's a big loss, man, for the NFL world,
Facts.
for the whole world, man. Like I said, growing up playing all his games, man, I remember the very first Madden that came out on Sega Genesis, bro,
Right,
rocking that
right.
thing with the little janky little graphics. I mean, they was cool then. I guess back then they were cool,
Yeah, of course.
but
It was off the chain back then.
yeah,
It
but
was better than Tecmo
obviously
Bowl.
obviously compared to what we working with now, obviously it
Right.
wasn't nothing, you know what I mean? But at the same time, man, just how iconic he was, man. Like somebody was mentioning earlier in the week on Monday when we were talking about him. When you were watching the game where Madden and Pat Summerall was calling, you knew you was watching the big one. You knew you were watching the game of the week, man. And they just kept you in it, man. They kept you interested the whole way, all the time. What's going on, Pat?
What's going on, man? Y'all boys didn't talk about the first Madden game, man. That was one of the Empire games that came out. When that first Madden came out, I think it was like 90. No, it was like 89, but I played the one that was like 92. Man,
Oh,
when I say the Cowboys were overpowered in that game, but John Madden is one of the reasons why I like doing live play-by-play commentary. And you're right, he's way more to the game than just commentary. You know, he was a Super Bowl winning coach. He was a player, Hall of Fame commentator, Hall of Fame coach. I mean, he was just football, man. Like when you think of football, you think of John Madden. So, terrible loss for the league, but you know, shout out to his family. Hope everybody's doing okay. And shame that he passed away a couple of days after the documentary. It's kind of crazy, but
But at least he got this. He got to receive his flowers while he was alive. That's the one positive thing you can look at. At least he got. I saw a clip this morning of him watching Lawrence Taylor saying that he made Lawrence Taylor better because he believed in him, and he never knew how he impacted all these people. So for him to see that video and get his flowers before he left, that was quite amazing. Because most people don't get that.
Yeah, man. Madden definitely was just special, man. Anybody, especially grew up in our era, man. Madden is just a special guy, man. Football, you can't write the book about the NFL without a whole big long chapter on John Madden, man. You just can't. You can't do it, man. John Madden meant that much to the game, man. And that's a tough one. I got that alert on my phone that he passed away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Like we was just literally talking about him on Monday on the show on Monday, just talking about him, like you said, about the documentary and the release and everything, and then just for him to pass away like that Tuesday, man. Like you said, I can't say more great things about John Madden and how his impact on me as a young football fan when I was younger, man. It's a tough one to swallow. Even though he's like a guy I didn't know personally, and then it's a tough one to swallow, man. Oh, Demarius Thomas.
Hey, Lou, you muted, Lou. Lou, you muted.
What up, Coach? What up, Jay? Yeah, man. I was trying to text Logan and tell him hold on a second. He was trying to pop in while I was trying to do my tribute to John Madden. I didn't know Joe was live right now. I thought we had set all this up.
Oh, Joe doing a play-by-play right now.
Mm-hmm. You doing a play-by-play of the Oklahoma-Oregon game.
Oh, okay. What time that game over?
It's on now. It's probably going to be over. And it's probably around 11 o'clock.
Huh?
It's probably going to be over around 11 o'clock.
Oh, damn.
It just started.
Oh, yeah. Well, Joe won't be in here tonight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but man, so what do you guys think about all these tweets and articles and rumors and allegations and all this stuff coming out about our organization in the past few seasons with drafts and arguments, and scandals, and all this shit?
Go ahead, man.
Right now, man, trying to sort through it all. Some of it, unfortunately, is just a little too accurate, and it's kind of scary to have to admit that, man. But we've been stinking up the joint, man, the last couple of years, man. These last few years, and like I said, this year just hit a wall, man. Like I'm so on the fence with this whole Joe Judge thing, man. Like I know it's not really a successful recipe to just be firing coaches repeatedly after just a couple of years. But then there's just some strong arguments, man, that say that could be better off moving on from this guy. He just hasn't been succeeding, man. Like the one earlier, like when they were talking about the one article, somebody a meme or something I saw, and Joe Judge had 5 losses of 20 points or more over the course of the last 2 seasons as he's been our coach. And the fact that you look back the last however many years from Tom Coughlin in 2015 to up to the couple McAdoo seasons and the couple Pat Shurmur seasons, the fact that we only had like 2 losses like that in that same time period, it's kind of eye-opening, man. It makes you wonder, are these guys truly not responding to what Joe Judge is? I'm not sure. I just don't, at this point, I don't know. It's hard. I don't know what to believe, man, because I'm not actually in the meeting rooms. I'm not there with them in practice in the facility. So it's just a lot right now. And the whole thing with the Saquon Barkley stuff, is it all in his mind? Can he not get it out of his head about thinking about being injured? All of this stuff is I don't know. It's a lot. Right now it's a lot. And like I said, as long as I've been a New York Giant fan, I've never seen us have to like do this much turmoil myself personally. I never witnessed this much turmoil with the franchise personally. So it's just a lot to take in, and it's gonna make for an interesting offseason, to say the least.
So, y'all see that dumbass question the reporter asked Barkley? I'm glad you brought him up because I wanted to touch on that. So, are you worried about going to Chicago since that's where you got hurt and all this other, like, Come on, bro. I swear I can't stand the way the media be treating the Giants, bro. I swear I can't stand it, bro.
I mean, that is a dumb question. I mean,
You could have seen if you look at the interview, you see his face. He was like he wanted to be like mother.
it didn't
Yeah,
make
it did.
those
It did.
questions don't make sense. Like
Media, man.
it's dumb. And then they want to bring up, oh, we got 20-point losses and all that.
They just don't be giving a
Remember
fuck
that
about
second
you.
season under McAdoo, we were getting destroyed.
Like you just property. They don't care if your mom died, nothing. They just we don't give a shit about you. Or your legs banged up or your confidence is shaking. So what? What do you think about this? Like they don't give a fuck. You're not a person to them, you're property. You're a commodity.
Everybody, like I said, fans just want blood. And if you're a GM and the owner, you think like a fan, you're gonna continue to go through stuff like this. You let that guy coach next year. If he's a lame duck, if he fails next year, then you're able to cut ties with everybody and have a fresh new start. What GM and what coach is gonna come in with the situation right now and just make it absolutely better? Nobody has a plan. Nobody has any idea who to bring in here. Oh, we're losing out on great GMs. Well, how you know these guys are great GMs? There's no Ozzie Newsome available to bring in here. Pioli, I mean, he's been an assistant GM. What makes him great? What makes Louis Riddick great? What makes any of these guys great? That, oh, they don't want to work with Joe Judge. Well, okay, you promote Abrams and let those two guys handle this season. And if they fall on their face, you fire them after 3 years. That says, as an organization, that you gave everybody a fair shake. You gave him 3 years. You let him go 3 years into his contract. And another thing people don't think: what owner wants to be paying 4 coaches? Because he still has to pay out McAdoo's contract. He still has to pay Shermer's contract. Then you're gonna have to pay Joe Judge the rest of his contract, and then you're gonna be paying another head coach. So you really want to be paying 4 head coaches
No.
in 1 year? And then everybody, you fire Joe Judge, that means Patrick Graham is gone. They're not just going to keep Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham is going to leave. That's his boy. So now your defense is going to be back to square one. And the defense is what people are like, what the defense is playing with. Well, now your defense is up in the air because now Patrick Graham is gone. So now what? People don't think. They just want to fire somebody. They just want a piece of flesh because we underachieved this year. And let's be real. We had a lot of people injured. Yeah, I know injuries is not a great excuse, but it happened. A lot of injuries to a team that don't have depth. This is what happens. And no way a coach could come in and build depth for a team in 1 year, in one draft when his team was in shambles. The best he could do was have his main players play out there. All his main players got hurt. So I don't understand where everybody just wants to fire somebody. Give me your plan. Give me your plan on what should happen. You bring in a whole new GM and you bring in a whole new coach, and then they fall on their face this year and go 3-14 or something. You're gonna be wanting them fired too, because they can't fix a shitstorm in a year and a half to 2 years. It takes time. This organization is under an owner that puts his hands on everything and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and so he's turning it into a shitstorm. You got your son. I don't care what anybody says. We could have had Russell Cone. We could have had Russell Cone at right tackle this year. Now he's damn better than they sold him Matt Pert. But since his agent called him an asshole back in the day, oh no, we can't sign Russell Cone because he called me an asshole.
That's some petty shit that's killing the team, and you can't put your pride to the side, and you can't get out of your own way.
Does Joe Judge have control over the scouting department? Because the scouting department is really one of the main parts of your organization. Because if your scouting is trash, you're going to bring in trash players. Those coaches are doing everything to get the team ready that they have right now to bring in. And they have to listen. Go ahead.
Saying that he gave you a full plan. I laid out
Yeah, man.
groundwork. I laid out groundwork for way up. Start to
Man,
outside zero movement.
everybody. No offense to men, everybody's saying, "Oh, just because you bring in a GM outside the organization, everything is just gonna flip." What if
I
that
was gonna say,
GM? What if that GM's plan doesn't work? You're gonna want him fired as well in 2 years, aren't you?
yeah, something Ned said earlier in the comments too, though. Like he said, I do kind of agree with this comment. If you are gonna bring in a new GM, it's kind of hard to just have to make that guy have to stick with Joe Judge. That's where it's going to be interesting, touch and go. Like, what are we really going to do this all going into this off season? Because I do agree with that. As it wouldn't be fair to a new GM to make him have to
These
stick
motherfuckers
with
here.
a coach if he's
These
not
motherfuckers here.
if he wants to move on from him.
You're talking about a head coach that all the players that you root for right now that say they have talent he brought here.
Read
You're
this
talking
shit.
about you're talking about a head coach that couldn't even fire an offensive coordinator until after a year goes by. Then he's able to fire him. Why wasn't he able to fire him last year? Those are the questions that should be asked. Why was he not permitted to? Why was he not given the permission to fire an offensive coordinator that he wanted to fire over a year ago? Why is that? It's because the ownership has their hands on everything. They put Jason Garrett there. Basically, we had Coach 1A and Coach 1B, to be honest with you.
I definitely can agree with that.
So if you got somebody that you want to get rid of in your organization, but you can't do it because the CEO is telling you, "No, I want that guy here. That's my guy." What type of power do you have as a head coach? And everybody, "Oh man, he's soft. He couldn't." What do you mean? This is the owner of the New York Giants. What are you going to tell the owner? Fuck you. I'm going to fire him anyway. No, the guy's just got his first head coaching job. He's not trying to lose his job like that. This is his first head coaching job. And all this crap y'all talking about him this year, last year, you were rooting for him because he did start changing the culture around this team. This team plays hard. They do. It's just that they don't have the players to go out there and win. You name one coach that could go out there and win with Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon. Name one coach. I don't want to give a damn. Andy Reid was the coach of this damn team with those quarterbacks and that offensive line. You want to kill him about the offensive line? Okay, go ahead. But he did have 3 of his primary offensive linemen go down and 2 retirees right before the season. It's not too many teams that can shake back from that, especially when you don't have a foundation because you're trying to build your foundation right now. He was only here a year before this year. I could see if the guy was here 3 to 4 years before this year, and then talking about retaining him after he's had 4 years of sucking. The dude only had 1 year, and that was his rookie coach year. And he went 6-10, almost got us into the playoffs, if you guys remember. NFC East was bad last year, but we were in the playoff race until the last week of the season last year. People seem to forget that shit. And let's be real, 3 of these games that we lost this year is because of the players. 2 offsides penalties, and if the dude picks up the ball, we got 7 wins right now.
That is also true.
People seem to forget that the defense was sucking ass in the beginning of the season. Pro. And now the defense is the best part of the team. When he got full control over the defense, when he said, "Okay, we're going to do it this way." He couldn't do that without sucking ass and like a big ass cheek. Thick ass cheeks they were sucking on.
They was
Then when Joe
that bad.
say, "Hey, look, we're going to do this on defense and we're going to get this corrected," didn't it get corrected? But he wasn't able to take over our offense until after Jason Garrett was fired. And guess what? Daniel Jones went down. All his offensive linemen been down. Barkley been hurt most of the season. Kadarius Toney been hurt most of the season. Galladay been hurt most of the season. Rudolph been hurt. Evan Ingram is Evan Ingram. Your offensive line is one of the worst in the league. But you want to blame everything on Joe Judge. And then you get it construed. I'm not saying this guy's a great coach. I'm saying you give this guy his chance. You give him his 3rd year, see what he does. If he falls on his face, then you can his ass. That's all I'm saying. What good is it going to do to fire? Your GM is already fired. I don't think Gettleman's been there for months now. What good is it to fire Joe Judge right now? What good is it? After all that good stuff y'all were talking about Joe Judge last year, one season, now you just want his head. Now you just want to fire him. But
I think that's a lot.
Y'all guys forget the good that he's done.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of how bad it got this season, though. And I hear everything you're saying. I love this argument right now because right now you just made a very compelling argument why you should definitely hang on to him. I've heard a lot of good compelling arguments why we should fire him. To me, it's like going to be like a teeter-totter all season for me. It's like wondering what we going to do, what's going to happen with the Joe Judge situation. Like I said, I agree with Miz. Like I said earlier about the bring a new GM in. You really shouldn't necessarily force Joe Judge on him, but at the same time, you just made a strong argument as well. I mean, Joe Judge last year, a lot of us was on board with Joe Judge. You know what I mean? Like you just said, nobody had a lot of complaints about him. He looked like he was changing the culture of this football team. I always go back to his opening press conference when he got hired. Like I said, he had me fired up. He had me ready to run through a wall. I was ready to look, let's go. You know what I mean? I didn't know who he was a week ago. I know who you are now. You know what I mean? But
you talking my language.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think because the situation has been so bad in general for so long now that people are just at their wits' end. And this year, to me, is one of the worst seasons I've seen the New York Giants have. It might not be their worst record, but it's been a really brutal season to watch, man. Like you said, the defense couldn't get out their own way earlier this season. Now the offense can't get anything done. It just seems like nothing can go right this year, man. And
I got one question. So just because you keep Joe Judge next year and the GMs don't want to work with Joe Judge, okay, cool. You bring Abrams in and let him be the GM. So all the GM candidates are just going to disappear after next year?
Oh no, I don't agree with that.
I mean, but y'all acting like if we don't get an outside GM this coming year, we'll never get another good GM outside the organization. Yeah, that's what people are acting like.
But my problem with bringing, excuse me, real quick, me just my problem with bringing in another, hiring Abrams, you know what I mean, is to me where we at right now, where the Giants is at right now as an organization, that's just going to keep us in the same. I just feel like that's going to keep us in the same spot where we're at right now. It's just not going to change anything because he's just going to come in and do everything the New York Giant way, which is proven to be a failing way as of late. You know what I mean? It's just, it just is what it is. I just think we definitely need fresh eyes on this thing to change this thing around, man.
One more question, man. What was the reason why people thought we were going to go to the playoffs this year?
I mean, you spend big money in the offseason. That's one of the reasons.
No, that's one. But what was the major reason why?
I mean, you saw growth. You seem like we saw growth last year with this football team.
Okay,
man.
So this guy has one bad year. One. Because let's be real. Last year he had us in the playoff race. Yeah. As bad as the NFC East was, he still had us in a playoff race until the last week of the season. If the Eagles would have played their players throughout the whole game and beat Washington, we would have been in the playoffs. So you mean to tell me just 1 year, all of a sudden, just cut his head off?
Pat, you make a point, right, Pat? Let me say what I want to say, man. That's why I came on. You make a good point for Judge, and he do deserve more of an opportunity. But how many more years are we going to play this 1 more year game? How many more years are we going to suck and be garbage and the crust of the league? And by the way, Joe Judge has regressed as a head coach this year. He's gone backwards. You watch the decision making. You watch the offense. You watch his clock management. It's terrible. We're losing games by more points lately.
8 out of 11 losses are by double digits.
And forget all that. A loss is a loss. It don't matter. 130. But you know what, man? Here's my thing. You want to keep Judge? That's fine. Keep Judge. I cannot have this guy promoted, this puppet from under Gettleman to GM, because we're staying with the same crap. That's not a change, and you know it's not.
Well, Abrams never made player decisions. He was just a cap guy. So you promote Abrams and let him handle the cap. Joe Judge is going to be one to bring the players in. If the GMs don't want to work with Joe Judge, then you just promote Abrams and give them a year to see what they can do. And if they fail, then you bring in a whole new GM and you bring in a whole new coach and you have a brand new slate, and then an actual rebuild can happen. What's the use of firing him and trying to bring a whole new GM and coach, and then they have to work with the shitstorm again? You're just repeating the same cycle. You're repeating the same cycle.
So you're going to trust Judge with these picks this year that we have, these treasure of picks we have this year. We have a nice pick.
Who was here when all the players that you cheer for now, who was here and they got drafted? Who was here? Who made some of those choices? Who's the person that was here for every player that you cheer for on this team right now? Who came up with the idea to go get Roche? Who was here when Ojulari was drafted? Who was here when Xavier McKinney was drafted? Who was here when Darnay Holmes was drafted? Tay Crowder is Mr. Irrelevant, and you like him.
I do
like
who
him.
Who has Leonard Williams out there playing like an absolute monster after he hurt his elbow and they said he could be out the season, but he was like, damn that, I'm gonna play. When Joe Judge put his stamp on his defense, didn't this defense turn around? Because they were getting smoked in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Didn't this defense turn around and start playing like the defense of last year?
That's because Joe Judge don't want to play anybody in preseason. So their preseason started in week 1.
Okay, cool. But didn't he get it changed? Did he not get it changed? When you look at this defense on the field, can you at least get a little bit of enjoyment watching this team on defense? Because let's be real, the points that the defense gives up, the offense throws interceptions and can't get a first down the whole game. When he put his imprint on this defense, did it not change? All this BS that everybody's talking about this guy. Last year, this guy had y'all hype. No matter what you say, 6-10 season, we was one victory away from being in the playoffs. This guy doesn't have his quarterback, his receivers, and everything has been hurt this year. A poor offensive line had his 3 main people get hurt, then had 2 retirees. His running back has been hurt. He had Jason Garrett as an offensive coordinator that he didn't want there for over a year but couldn't fire him. That speaks volumes because that means that he didn't have total control. And guess what? The offense is the worst part of this team, is which he did not have control over until the end of the season. And then Daniel Jones got hurt. And now he's working with Mike Glennon, who everybody knows is trash, and Jake Fromm. Name one coach who's going to win with Glennon and Jake Fromm with a bad offensive line. Name
Pat,
one coach.
We wasn't winning before them, Pat. We were not winning before them.
What do you mean? Y'all were hyped going into the second half of the season when we were 4-6.
Come
When
on,
we beat
Pat.
the Eagles.
We started out the season.
Everybody was
garbage,
happy.
man.
Everybody was happy when we were 4-6 after we beat the Eagles. Correct?
We were happy because we won a game against the Eagles.
Okay,
yes,
so like I said, an offsides penalty cost them a victory this year against the football team. An offsides penalty on O'Shane Zimenez cost us against the Chiefs. Because if he doesn't go offsides, we pick off that ball, we win that game. If Adoree Jackson catches an interception against the Falcons in that game, we got a real good chance of winning that game too. And if we win those 3 games, guess what? We're 7-9 right now, or 7-8 right now, right there at the playoffs, in the thick of things. True or not?
I mean, it's true. But I think with the fan base we've been dealing with, the reason they feel
everything bad with this team, everybody wants to say, "Oh, this Joe Judge's fault." Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault. People don't know the snap count. Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault. People go off sides in critical moments. Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault. Receivers go over the middle of alligator arm passes. Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault. Mike Glennon can't hit an open receiver. Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault. Daniel Jones likes to run into linebackers like he's a linebacker himself and gets himself hurt. That's Joe Judge's fault too. Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault. Nate Solder can't play worth a damn lick. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Nobody thought Nate Solder was going to be that bad. Nobody thought that. Oh, it's Joe Judge's fault because he didn't play Matt Pert. But when Matt Pert gets in there, guess what happens? They said he was soft. And when he gets in there, guess what? He tears his ACL. That's Joe Judge's fault too. It's Joe Judge's fault.
Mercy, boys.
Saquon Barkley twist his ankle on a freak play. That's Joe Judge's fault. Oh, Joe Judge is so freaking stupid. He's not playing Kadarius Toney from week 1. But when he finally puts the kid in there and he learned the offense and everything, he sets the rookie Giants record. The first time he gets some real action. You seem to forget Ojulari is probably third in defensive rookie of the year voting. And he gave him a little bit of snaps here and there, and then he turned it on. People forget that you brought Roche here. Everybody wants to talk about how good Roche can be. Guess who brought him here?
For peanuts.
Smith.
Listen.
People just want their pound of flesh because we're losing. That's cool. Be angry, but be smart in the process. No new GM or coach is going to come here and change this thing around in 1 to 2 years. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen because Mayor's made it that bad.
That's a
fact.
At the history.
Look at the history of franchises who do that.
No, sorry. Hold on. Sorry, Pat. Think about this. Now, you bring a GM in here. He fires Joe Judge. He fires everybody. That means we're in a full rebuild again. That means at least 3 to 5 years. Because he's going to want to get rid of everybody. He don't give a damn. Barkley, Toney, Jones, Judge. So when people be saying blow it up, they don't really mean that shit. They just saying it on these streams because it sounds good. You really blow it up, we ain't winning shit for at least 5 years.
I think
honestly,
honestly,
so you blow it up next year. So now you waited 6 years. Good job.
What I think people want to see though, they want to see this team finally taking a step in the right direction. And if that takes another 3 or 5 years, as long as we're heading in the right direction, we just don't seem to be doing that. That's I think what the problem is. We just seem to keep going backwards.
So the new GM comes in, the new GM and coach comes in. We win 5 games the first year, and then we only win 6 games the next year. Guess what's going to happen? Fire him. He sucks, man. He can't do anything. We're not winning games. Just fire him. Just fire him.
We'll stay in that same cycle.
That's not my point, man. My point is not about Joe Judge. My point is you're promoting a guy who, to me, don't have a right to have that position. Just because you want to hold over for another year.
Why?
So why fire Gettleman? Okay, so don't fire Gettleman. Don't fire Gettleman then, if that's your point.
I think Gettleman wants to go himself.
Maybe. I don't know about. Yeah.
People are not talking about Mara enough. Mara is causing a lot of this shit.
But here's the problem. The problem with that is Mara's the owner and he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He ain't going nowhere.
Man. So what's the new GM and coach going to do if Mara's doing the same thing?
Well, let me ask you a question, Pat. So you have a chance to get a Dorsey. You wouldn't want him right now? A guy that has sort of played a good role in turning 2 other teams. He turned the Browns around, not completely, but he had them up in the right direction.
And look at the doing right now.
You just heard me say he didn't take them all the way to the top, but he sent them in a good direction. Now, coaching got to play a role.
Was that good direction hiring Freddie Kitchens?
Listen, all I know is this. A GM, people make this mistake. The GM is not the head coach. The head coach got to do a job also. whoever that coach might be.
And people say the other issue that you can't attempt to win and be in contender while going through a rebuild. So why not make this guy do the rebuild? What has Kevin Abrams done to where you just don't like him that much? What has he done?
It's what he hasn't done. Huh?
What do you mean what he hasn't done?
You don't have a resume really for this type of stuff. He's not a scout. He can't find talent. He's been part of the organization.
That's not what he was hired for, Biz. He was
I
hired
hear players talking out there saying that guy is a totally wrong guy for the GM job. He has no right to have it.
Well, he might not be the GM. He was hired to fix the cap.
Like I said, not for nothing,
He was hired to keep the cap from being over. He's a numbers guy. That's it. He works on contracts and keeping the cap.
I'm asking you guys a question, man.
Guys, man. We're gonna keep recycling New York Giant guys. This is going to be the same. This is going to be the same thing, man. That's what I feel like. What he's saying is, you just keep bringing in another New York Giant guy. It's just going to keep doing things the New York Giant way.
Who is saying that? Who is saying that?
If you think about it, if you seriously promote him to GM, there's really not much what's going to really change.
Nothing. Another Mara puppet. Another Mara puppet on strings. That's what you got yourself.
Can somebody answer the goddamn question? Promote who?
Abraham.
We're talking about Abraham, which is that's the one guy
the cap guy.
Kevin Abrams.
Abram.
You know why you do that? If these new GMs don't want to work with Joe Judge, that's why you hire him. You let him handle the cap. You just give him the GM role, and you let Joe Judge bring in his own players.
So what he's saying is basically Kevin Abrams will have the title of GM, but Joe Judge will have the power to draft.
Exactly.
Judge is going to draft his apples and oranges. Yes.
And you give him that chance because you want to get an actual rebuild. Everybody's saying, "Oh, you can't win while trying to rebuild," but that's what you guys are saying. I want to win right now. I want to win. Fire everybody who can't win. But you're going through a rebuild. You know you're going through a rebuild. You know you are. There's no foundation for this team. None. McAdoo never built one. Sherman never built one. The closest thing you have to one is the players that Joe Judge has brought in.
Logan, I don't know.
What's up?
Chat.
All right, sir. I got it.
The closest thing to you have a foundation of players that you like, you're willing to get rid of the guy that brought them here. And then what? Now you got a whole nother head coach and a whole nother GM trying to sift through a whole bunch of players that they don't want. And then when we lose for the next 2 years because they done got rid of everybody and they're trying to rebuild some, guess what? Fire them. Fire them. That's exactly what you're gonna say about the next two guys. Fire them.
I mean, if I can be candid, I feel like it doesn't. Where we're at right now as an organization, we're still a few years away, regardless. Anyway, no matter if we keep Judge.
Okay, so why would you destroy the little bit of good that you had with Joe Judge?
Because I think
this man has had one bad year. Because I don't give a damn what none of y'all say. All of y'all were saying Joe Judge was a good coach last year when he had us in the playoff race at the end of last year. And if you want me to pull it up, I'll pull it up. So this guy has one bad year when everybody had these huge expectations because we signed a couple of free agents. And he has one bad year, now you want to cut his head off.
I think part of it is because it's a historically bad year also. I mean, it's something to be said. It's a historically bad year. I mean, this is one of the worst. I've been a fan since '85, bro. This is definitely maybe the worst individual season that I've seen.
But you know This is a historically bad year. How many quarterbacks? Giant
fan. This is definitely the worst season I've seen as a New York Giant fan.
It's not just the season, man. It's a pile up of the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, man. The fan base is done with it.
I'm just saying this. How many touchdowns has Daniel Jones thrown?
Not enough.
10.
Not
This is
enough.
a historically bad season. I agree with them on that. But I do not agree on blowing it all up without giving this man a fair shake.
Yeah, everybody. Oh, it's been 8, 9
Because
years.
Ellison
Joe Judge
Smith,
was here 8, 9 years ago.
listen, Ellison Smith, Azeez Ojulari, Roche, those guys were picked by him. He built that defense that we have now. He added to that defense that we have. Blake Martinez, so this guy has made some improvement and brought some guys here who had talent. We had an offensive coordinator who didn't know how to cook with the ingredients he was given. We have an offensive coordinator right now that don't know how to cook too much with the ingredients he's been given. And we have an offensive line that couldn't block a damn sneeze. So, I mean, everybody wants to decapitate his head, and I'm going to steal your line like you said a little while ago. They want their pound of flesh because they're mad. And I get it. I'm mad too. I want to smack Chris Mara, Dave Gettleman, John Mara, Jason Garrett, the whole offensive line 3 times. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're all still gonna be fans next year. We can sit and talk shit, rant, scream at the camera, yell at each other. Next week when the Giants game is on, we'll be fucking watching it. So it's just stressful.
Look what you're watching. You're watching a meaningless game where you can't even get up and pump your fist. You can't, because in the back of your mind you want to lose the game. So that's not the way to watch football, man.
Yep.
That's garbage, man. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. And it's been like that since Halloween.
It's been like that since week 3.
Been like that since Coughlin left.
You want to keep Judge? I'm fine with going with Judge. You want to give Judge the keys to go to the draft and do everything? That's fine, man. But all I'm saying is, what's wrong with bringing a real GM? And I understand maybe the GM doesn't find a GM that is okay with having Judge for a year, and let's see what happens.
Maybe the GM they bring in here sucks and he fires Judge and hires a worse coach. Nobody's thinking about that.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
How many times has Cleveland done it? How many times have the Jets done it?
You got
have
guys.
they won a freaking Super Bowl? Wait. Have the Browns or the Jets won a Super Bowl in the last 3 decades, 4 decades?
Well, the Browns have never been to one, so
No, but that's because they be doing things the way we're doing them right now.
And if you fire him and blow it all up, we'll be doing the same shit they've been doing.
You don't have to blow it all up, Lou. I'm okay. You want to go another year with this? Let's go. All right, fine.
No, we don't even.
But let me tell you, we got 2 first-round picks, and if we blow these 2 first-round picks, we're gonna suck for another 8 years. So get ready. This draft is the most important draft in Giants history. Whoever's doing it, you better get that shit right. I'm telling you.
Also, another thing about the Judge point, man, is like you said, his first year, 6-10, almost made the playoffs. He appeared to be a pretty competent coach. Like he knew what he was doing. He had, like you said, Giants going in that right direction. But like I said, but he also didn't have any expectations last year as his rookie head coach. Now this season, he came into this season with expectations, and it didn't seem like he handled that very well. I mean,
so that's where I get 1 bad year. 1.
What'd you say? I didn't hear that.
look,
That's
I mean,
why
like
I
you
said
said-
1 bad year. 1 bad year. He's the worst thing that's happened to the Giants in the 8 to 9
look,
years.
it's like you said, I don't want to fall into that New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions type of, you know what I mean? I don't want to be lumped in with teams like that. I agree. I totally agree. Like, keep continuously firing coaches every damn year, changing coaches like you change your clothes. I get that, man. Like, trust me, I totally do understand that point of view. But I
And
think
I
with
see all sides.
with the New York Giants, man, I think right now it's such a frustrating feeling because this is a winning organization. This is a prideful franchise, bro. And right now, we're not getting New York Giant football. I mean, I grew up on good, New York Giant football, man. This is a shit show.
Y'all act like franchises don't have their downtime. Franchises
I'm not
don't have
saying
their
that.
downtime.
But good ones know how
The
to bounce back. And we
Dallas
haven't figured out
Cowboys
how to
haven't
do
won a Super Bowl in over 25 years.
but they still been a consistently competitive football team for
I
most
don't
of
give a
that
damn.
time.
They haven't got the goal.
I get that,
They
but they've
haven't
been a
got the goal.
consistently competent looking football team. We have not been a competent looking football team.
Giants
I'd rather win
577 says if they don't address the O line, drafting the QB won't save his job,
It
especially
won't.
if they are expecting to win and they don't. Facts.
Right. If he goes there and draft a QB and doesn't get this offensive line straight and he's playing like Jake Fromm, he's going to be fired. So that whole thing, he's going to draft a QB to get him some extra years, that's bullshit.
What? See what happens, man. I know that
Hey,
last year
listen, none
we
of
went
us
to
know,
draft.
Liz. We're all just speculating. None of us know what
I
the hell
know.
is going to happen.
Listen, we're just having a good, healthy argument. I understand. Everybody can have a respectful opinion. Here's the thing. We went into last year's draft, and we knew that we had major problems on the O-line, right? And you can't tell me Judge didn't play a big role in drafting these players, and they didn't even look at an O-lineman. Explain that to me.
Because the whole organization decided that they were going to go with the younger guys. And like I said, 3 of those guys got hurt in the beginning of the season. And the 2 offensive linemen that they brought in, the 2 veterans, they retired.
And Nick Gates got hurt. Jonathan Harrison got hurt.
Lemieux got hurt.
Fulton retired.
Looney
Soder's
retired.
trash. Will Hernandez is trash.
No, who knew Soder was going to be that bad? Who knew Pert wasn't going to be up to par? Who knew Hernandez was going to turn out to be that bad? Did Hernandez play like this last year?
No.
Why? Why is Hernandez trash? Why? He was supposed to be good coming out the draft. He had a good.
So that's Joe. So that's Joe Judge's fault. That's Joe Judge's fault that he turned out to be trash.
That's what I'm saying,
okay.
Man. The deeper, there's things wrong in this organization. We're not developing players. We've spoken about this. It's a huge issue why we've been bad for so long. We stopped developing players. There was a time when Giants was one of the best organizations at developing O-linemen and D-line.
What if the players just suck, Miz?
How can every single player we draft
just suck?
So every player we draft for the last 8 years, it sucks. They all suck. But then these
For the
players
last 4
leave.
years they have.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But then these players leave the Giants. They go other places and they succeed. They may not be stars, but they're starters. Good, solid, quality starters. What's up with that?
Maybe the system just didn't fit them, Miz. That happens.
You got to look at the scouting department. You got to look at the.
Is that Joe Judge?
No, I'm not. Stop with the Joe Judge because I never said throw Joe Judge out the window right now. I didn't say that.
But you guys are coming at Joe Judge like he's just a
but
major
Miz
problem.
is not saying that. Miz is not saying that. He's just saying he don't want Kevin Abrams. That's all Miz
I'm
is
not.
saying.
I'm worried that Mara's gonna keep doing the same thing. I'm gonna get a guy that I can control, and he's not a real GM. Someone who's gonna come in here, stare Mara in the face, and say, "You have been horrible for 8 years. I'm gonna take over your organization. We're going in a different direction. I'm bringing in a new young scouting team, and this shit is about to head north over the next 2 to 3 years." I want a guy like that, man. A Reddick, Dorsey. Maybe there's other guys out there.
Okay,
I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying.
Am I saying something wrong here? I don't know.
No. Time out. Listen, watch this though. Right? When Gettleman got here, they asked him about analytics. All his draft picks turned out to be freaking bust, with the exception of Saquon Barkley. Right? Joe Judge got hired. Then all of a sudden, New York Giants have analytics. So did Dave Gettleman bring that, or did Joe Judge update the scouting and the analytics and bring in the guys that we root for now? So the problem is Gettleman. And I've been saying that shit all year, but nobody wants to listen to Puerto Rican guys.
I'm not sitting here. I don't want y'all to misconstrue me. I'm not sitting there putting all this blame on Joe Judge individually, but at the end of the day, he's the head coach. You got to assume some level of responsibility.
Take some of the blame, yeah.
You got to assume that. That's like the quarterback. The quarterbacks go up, go down with the ship. You know what I mean? Whatever. You got to. You in a certain position. You got to assume and take the responsibility, man. And at the end of the day, sure, he does some things good. I'm not saying he doesn't do anything good at all. I'm saying that it appears to be a bit of a regression. It does appear to be a regression from his first year as a head coach to this year. And only one of the bigger differences, he came into this season with a higher expectations, and he fell flat on his face. He fell flat on his face, to be quite frank. Now, like I'm not
So-
saying rip it up, fire the guy because he had this really horrible year. At the same time, he has to assume some of the responsibility. You can't just be like, well, that's not Joe Judge's fault. This is not Joe Judge's fault. We can't just
Who
keep
says
saying
he's
that.
not
He's the
taking
head
any
coach.
responsibility just because you bring him back next year? That's all we're saying. That doesn't mean he doesn't accept some responsibility on what happened. Just because you bring him back next year, these people acting like you bring Joe Judge back next year. Oh, he's been exonerated. No, he hasn't. This guy's taking flack all year. He's taking shit for his offense all year that he probably didn't even have control over. To be honest with you.
Okay, remember that article that came out last offseason? Excuse me, real quick, Pat. That article that came out last offseason, that guy, whatever, ranking the NFL coaches, and how pissed off we all were where he ranked Joe Judge at, and how he called Joe Judge a parody of an NFL coach. Well, guess what, man? Hey, much as it pains me to say, he kind of looked like that this year, man. He looked lost at times on the sideline, the time management situations, things like that. Those are him, man. Those situations were him. The wasting timeouts the way he would waste timeouts. Those are him, man. Those are his.
No.
That's Joe Judge. That's the coach.
I said it's time clock, man.
You give it a 38-year-old coach, a rookie coach. He's going to grow on the go, basically.
Yeah, so you want players to grow, but your coach can't grow?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I understand how young he is. I mean, I'm older than Joe Judge. but like, I get it, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. Look what Bucco wrote. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. What Bucco wrote. That's it. We know Judge is coming back. There's no doubt about it. But I need to know who's coming in here with a program to go side by side with him. Don't tell me the capologist. Please don't tell me the capologist.
You need something to make it work, and this organization needs change.
Like I said, if Joe Judge is the guy who brought in all the players that you like right now on this team, and there's no GM that's willing to go in there and be with Joe Judge, that's why Kevin Abrams is up for the job. You put him in there, you just slap a GM title on him, let him handle the cap, and let Joe Judge bring in his people. That's it. Nobody's saying Abrams is going to be this great GM if you bring him in here. I don't think Abrams is going to be making any decisions at all when it comes to player personnel. That dude's a cap guy. And if you have that faith in Joe Judge to bring in players that are playing well, which they are, and he gets to run his plan that he wants to run, then if they fail, then you get rid of both of them. That's it.
I get what you're saying. So they're going to use Ibrahim as just the title guy, but really Judge is going to run things.
All these super GMs, everybody wants to talk about Louis Riddick. If Louis Riddick was here when he wanted to be here, we'll be looking at Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, God almighty.
You want a new GM so bad, I guarantee you bring in a new GM that has a different thing, you won't be looking at Daniel Jones next year. They probably drafted the quarterback in the first round.
Fuck.
And these quarterbacks are not no Justin Herbert or anybody like that. You want to talk about Robert Saleh and that GM over there? They got the chance to bring in their own quarterback.
Tell them again, Rick.
They got a chance to bring in their own quarterback.
His ass is on TV for a reason, just like John Gruden's ass. John Gruden was a sorry-ass coach. I don't care who disagrees with me. The numbers don't lie. Y'all want to kill Eli for his numbers. John Gruden was fucking trash. He won off the back of Tony Dungy, period. He never won anything else other than with the team that Tony Dungy assembled.
So that is true.
And nobody knows Reddick personally to put him down. He'll get his chance. Maybe not here, but he'll get his chance.
But you know Abrams personally to put him down.
Right.
To me, I know enough that he's not worth being a GM. You might as well keep that on me.
Riddick has never been a GM. Riddick has never been a GM.
He's not going to be a GM.
So let's throw
His
out.
argument is for no reason because he's a cap guy. He's a numbers guy. He's never going to.
Whatever. I understand what Pat's saying. He's going to just have the title, but really, Judge is getting the keys to go draft his team. I get it. Okay, fine.
And listen, I don't even want to give Judge a whole nother year. If he comes out next season and we start trash, Get rid of his ass. Don't let him finish the season. Blow every damn thing up.
They'll never do that. Giants will never do that.
Kidding me? I'll blow every damn thing up.
Because you can't just fly a guy in week 5 with nobody else to come in that's real. So, and that's the thing also, man. Pat, you used to say it yourself. It wasn't Garrett's fault, and to me, it looked like it wasn't Garrett's fault. Scapegoat.
Yeah, he was a scapegoat. He was a scapegoat.
Y'all crazy as hell. I disagree with everybody on that shit. I never wanted Garrett here. He fucked this team up from the day he started. And I tell you what, he was sabotaging Joe Judge so he can steal that damn head coach job because he did not like being an offensive coordinator after being a head coach for 10 years. And that's a fact. That dude is a bum and a loser.
It's a hell of a conspiracy theory, bro. That's a hell of a conspiracy theory.
Oh, well, I've been saying that. I've been agreeing with Lou at that point for months.
But I think the friction between those two is what made the offense that bad. The friction between those two made the offense that bad because they couldn't agree on it. They didn't even talk to each other.
Wow.
They didn't even talk to each other.
Thank you, 577.
I mean, as bad as Garrett was, man, I still can't blame him for everything that was wrong with this offense, man. You can only do so much with some of the limited pieces he had to work with, man.
Okay, so that goes with Joe Judge too. That goes for Joe Judge too. Man, you act like the guy's been here 4 to 5 years. He was only here 1 year before this year. So how can he build a whole roster full of good players in 1 year?
Is that one long sleeve? The one you got?
Who, me?
Yeah. We got the same shirt, but no, it's not. Yours is gold.
Got the flag on it. That's the Army Rush one from last season. Well, anyways, but once I'm not saying now, go ahead, keep talking, Pat. But for the next question I have is we're gonna get to the quarterback decision.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that, man. I saw you.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and get to the quarterback decision because you want a new GM that bad. Go ahead and get a new GM. Bring him in here. If he wants to work with Joe Judge, fine. But just let you know, Joe Judge will be fired next year if this team plays the same exact way. But you have to give him that 3 years because any coach worth coming here wants to know that he will have job security. And that doesn't show job security. You keep firing coaches after 1 to 2 years, especially when you know that this roster has to be rebuilt. Yeah, no coach is going to rebuild anything in 1 to 2 years unless there was a foundation there already. And this team did not have a foundation of players. It didn't. So it's a lot harder to rebuild when you don't have a foundation. This team didn't have an offensive line or a defensive line. So there's no foundation. At least if you have a good offensive line, you know that, hey, I could put a quarterback back there and get some weapons out there. We could turn this thing around. He didn't have an offensive line when he came here, and he didn't have a defensive line when he came here. He did damn well to build that defense to what it's doing right now within 2 years. And this offensive line, yes, it has to be fixed. Now, if he doesn't address it this year, then yeah, everything that you're saying about him right now about the O-line goes tenfold because now you truly know what this offensive line is about. You have some young guns that was supposed to come out and play well, and it didn't pan out. He didn't have a plan E. So that's on him. He didn't have a plan E because your plan A didn't work. Plan B retired. Other plan Bs got hurt. Plan C, you panicked and brought some damn raggedy ass offensive linemen in here just to have an offensive line to go out there and play on Sundays. So that's what happens. Nate Solder, plan D. Nobody, I don't care what you say, nobody knew that Nate Solder was going to be that bad.
I didn't think
I know he wasn't going to. Yeah, I knew he wasn't going to be great, but I didn't know he was just going to be a traffic cone. Nobody knew he was going to be that bad. Be honest with yourself.
I didn't think it was physically possible for someone to be that bad.
I mean, didn't we pick up Nate Solder the year after we finally gave up on Eric Flowers, and then it was just like Nate Solder, and then it was like you just as bad, bro. Like you look just like him out there. It's the same turnstile that he is, that Eric Flowers was. So I mean, you're right. I didn't think he was gonna be that. I didn't think he was gonna be some Pro Bowl, All Pro left tackle coming in here. But at the same time, just disappointed.
Nobody knew he was gonna be that bad. Yeah, right, let's be real. Eric Flowers is not tearing up the league over there with Washington, so you can save that. When Weston Richburg was here, he didn't tear up the league when he left. Snead didn't tear up. Not Snead, but what's the other guy that we had? The right Pugh. He ain't tearing up the league. Has he made any Pro Bowls or anything since he's left? No. Only person that's doing good is BJ Hill, and Marcus Golden has always played well over there with Arizona. So you want to kill him for letting BJ Hill go ahead and kill him.
There you
go. And they say Kennard is playing well this year, right?
He is.
Yeah, Devin Kennard is playing decent, but he's not a Pro Bowl player.
No.
Was Devin Kennard a world breaker when he was here? No, he probably just found a better system for us.
He was never healthy when he was here either. He was always injured.
Exactly. The Detroit Lions. I think he's playing with the Detroit Lions. No, I forgot who he's playing with.
Or is it Buffalo? Is it?
It's Buffalo. It's
Buffalo now. Yeah,
Buffalo has a great system over there. They know how to use guys like that, and that's cool. That's not a slash against another franchise just because he could go over to another franchise. They know how to use them a little better.
I mean,
his skill set fits their scheme.
Kennard wasn't bad when he was here. He just never healthy. And when he was on the field and playing, he wasn't bad. He was always decent. He just could never stay healthy when he was here.
Okay, and those are the worst type players you can have on your team. Players that are good, but they can never play because they're hurt. They ruin your system.
That's what's already starting to scare me about Tony. I heard he's hurt again this week.
Yeah, he has a shoulder injury.
Yep, because that sorry ass pass Mike Glennon threw across the middle and got him popped. That took it to a pick six. He got hit hard as fuck on that play because Mike Glennon led him into the damn DB with his sorry ass.
He's got to put some muscle on in the off season.
No, you just got to put a better quarterback back there that's not going to get your players killed.
Well, that too.
That's whack.
And that's another thing that kills me about how these people talk shit about Eli so bad. Eli used to put the receivers in the best of positions. How many of his receivers got hurt while he was quarterback?
Eli's a smart player, man. Eli's a smart. It's a different. You know what I mean? I can't with these guys we got now. Like that's my biggest problem with Daniel Jones, man. Like the kid he's got some qualities that look like he could potentially, at least be a good enough guy, but at the same time, he's just not smart enough. He doesn't protect himself. He runs the football. He's reckless, puts himself in harm's way all the time, and that's my biggest problem with him, man. Like he doesn't play. He's not a good instinctive player. He doesn't play with the good enough instincts to be successful. I feel like in this league, man, he's always going to have be an injury. He's always going to be an injury issue every year with him because of the way he plays the game, man. Every time he runs the football, I hold my breath. I hold my breath. Every time he runs the football, because I feel like you just said earlier, he's going to go and try to run over a linebacker that slide, bro. That's why they got moves like that. You know what I mean?
And guess what?
Hold on,
guess what, man?
Hold on. And I want to answer this. I don't want Louis Riddick neither, because he a dick rider. That's what his name implies. He ride dick. And it also implies that he'd be a ridiculous ass GM. Fuck him.
Damn.
Okay, Louis.
Just go what Mac.
And that's not to Miz, that's to Riddick. That's all Miz going on.
I don't care. I don't care who comes in here. You can pick him off a road in Ohio. I just want to win. Get a program.
He said a road in Ohio.
Yeah, it's not about any personal person. It's not.
A dead possible guy ran over.
Just to go on what Mac was saying, if Daniel Jones is not the guy, the current head coach had nothing to do with Daniel Jones being drafted.
That's true.
He was inherited as Daniel Jones. That coach over there with the Jets, who they're saying is doing a pretty good job, he got a chance to draft his own quarterback from year one. Joe Judge inherited a shitstorm, an absolute shitstorm. And you expect this guy to have us in the playoffs within 2 years with no foundation whatsoever? It's an absolute shitstorm. And you know what's fucked up about the Cleveland Browns? When Hugh Jackson finally got that shit turned around over there, and they drafted that quarterback Baker Mayfield, which I don't think he drafted, that stupid little quarterback started talking shit about him, and they fired him immediately.
Baker
What
Mayfield.
have the fucking Browns done after Hugh Jackson?
Baker Mayfield.
I like Hugh Jackson. I like him.
What have they done? They've made
He said
one.
he said Mayfield was trash. They got rid of Hugh Jackson, and look, he was right. Mayfield is trash.
Yeah, Mayfield got a big mouth, man. That's what he's got.
He's a clown.
It's cocky for no reason.
If you're gonna be
That's
cocky,
the-
at least back it up.
He's Johnny.
It's not even that, man.
2.0.
He wanted Odell. He made a big show about it, and then look, they didn't get along after a year. So
And didn't throw on the ball at all.
Couldn't
Right.
even get the ball to Odell Beckham.
and he's playing
All
pretty
that
good
stuff,
now.
that foundation that Hugh Jackson built, that new GM that you say Dorsey that you want to come here, a lot of people want him to come here, blew that shit up, made them a super team, right? Oh, we got Landry. When Landry came there, Hugh Jackson got that. Landry was a very good receiver because he fit what Hugh Jackson wanted to do.
Him
Now you
and
want to
Odell
go
from
get
LSU
Odell
together.
Beckham. Yeah. Now you want to put Odell Beckham over there. You want to get all these guys. That defense was built when Hugh Jackson was there. They only got one other player that's very good on that defense out of the draft after Hugh Jackson left, and that was Denzel Ward.
Hit squad. What's up, bro?
Yeah,
He
Denzel's
said Baker or Garoppolo.
Well,
going
Owusu
to
Koromo
Washington.
was pretty damn good too.
just one thing, and I'm gonna listen to you guys. I just can't stay on late tonight, or else she's gonna throw me
Yeah,
out
I
of the
can't
house.
neither, bro. I'm exhausted.
So, because I promised her a night, but I still stick to one thing that I've always said, and I'm gonna stick to it, and I know you guys are gonna agree. Bottom line, man, it don't matter if Judge could stay. It doesn't matter. Bottom line, go build the O-line, and this whole thing turns around. Promise.
Exactly.
Guarantee.
So
I agree with that.
what's the use of firing everybody
Don't.
if you know that an O-line here, this team would be a whole lot better if this team had an
It
O-line.
would be.
And look,
Even with Daniel Jones at quarterback.
I was just about to say, because even if Daniel Jones is not your guy, and you fix this O-line, you got a 1-2 punch with Barkley and Booker, and we can just run the ball. He can throw little play actions, little screens, little slants, nothing major. We can dink and dunk.
Well, I was about to say that, Lou. When you build the O-line and get back to the ground game in football, which still wins in today's football, I don't care, the ground game, right? This is what it does for you. Play action allows your receivers to not take the hits that are going to get them injured. Because play action manipulates the secondary to move left, right, back, forward. You know what I'm saying? And then you got more open receivers to go downfield. So it's all start with the O-line, and we haven't had that in so long, and that's why it's looked so bad. And this year, it's totally bottomed out, and that's why we're not even scoring. Along with we got backups that don't belong in the NFL, but that's a whole nother story. So,
Hey, Chris, that's a great statement, right? Dorsey still drafted 16 Pro Bowlers in 7 seasons. He deserves credit. But how many Super Bowls did they win? Because the Pro Bowls don't bring no Lombardi trophies back to the stadium. Just saying.
Pat, man, we just got to attack this O-line this draft, Pat. I'm telling you, we just have to, man. Like you said, a boring draft of big, hairy, sloppy guys. Go get them. That's it.
I'm telling you, if this team gets an O-line, this team will turn around.
You trade back with
Not
Washington
far
and you
off.
get Chase Young and a pick for them to move up and get their quarterback. That's what you do. A first-round pick and Chase Young so that they can move up and get their quarterback if you trade back with Washington. Sorry.
Well, the latest mock today, I don't know if you got to see it yet, by Boschmo, which is pretty cool. You guys gotten Kalafkis and Lindenbaum with the 2 picks in the top 10,
By who?
which I know nobody here would have a problem with.
Who the hell is Boschmo?
He's a dude that does a bunch of mock drafts.
Yeah, he's big on,
Actually
very big
pretty
guy
good.
on mocks, yeah. I'll send you his
So
link.
was Mel Kiper, and he's so great.
He said Jamarcus Russell has potential to be the next coming of John Elway.
Well, I mean,
And that's my last thing before I get off, which I'm sure you guys will get to later, so that's why I'm just going to say it now. And I'm a big fan to go after Russell Wilson. I don't care what people say. It's time to bring a guy in here that's going to elevate the players' play around him. And that's what a guy like that does.
You go
I understand with the Jones.
3 years away from being washed and no
He ain't
O-line.
washed, bro. He ain't
I
washed.
said-
And
I
I
said
listened to
he's a
Peter
few
King
years-
today,
I said
and he said
he's a
that guy
few
has
years
another
old.
8 years in this league with good football in him.
Man, dude, 34 years old.
Brady's 45.
Tom Brady's
He's
44.
not Brady.
I mean,
Lou, this is a
not
different
Brady.
league, man. Lou, this is a different league now. You
How
can't
many
teach
how
a
many times
quarterback.
has Russell Wilson been hurt already?
he
once-
hasn't really been that much.
This is his first big
Didn't he
injury.
just have surgery on his throwing
Well,
hand?
that was the only time his whole career, Lou. That was
Throwing
it.
hand
His whole-
doesn't bother me. That'd get fixed as long as it wasn't a knee.
That
He's never
we'll
had a
be
big
broke.
injury before this
We'll
year.
be broke for the next 3 seasons, and we won't have an O-line to protect him. We'll ruin that man's career.
You know,
We'll
you
fuck
get
up
him,
his
you
chances
get
to
him
get to the
without giving
Hall
up
of
a
Fame.
lot. I'm telling you. You get him without giving up a lot right now. This is the one shot, the one chance. Because you could give up one of your wins.
I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for him.
Hell no.
I don't wanna
He's
do
3
that
years
either.
away from being completely washed. Hell no.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
wanna
you
do
don't
that.
give
I
up
don't
your
wanna
2
give up
ones
that
this
kind
year,
of trade.
obviously.
I wouldn't give up the house for Aaron Rodgers right now.
I don't want Aaron Rodgers.
Not when we. I can't stand that dude. But I'm just saying.
Well,
'cause
he's
people
old,
say he's
man.
the
Aaron
best
Rodgers is
quarterback.
old.
He's
Exactly.
older than Russell Wilson.
And he's an arrogant ass who likes to throw his coaches and his teams under the bus. I don't want that dude here.
But if I told you could have Russell Wilson, okay, and you still have enough picks to build an O-line and get a defensive end, and I told you that he changes this entire organization because that's what a guy like that does. You don't have to watch losing football anymore. I can guarantee you that.
Well, he's not doing so hot over there in Seattle.
Yeah, because it's
Guess
over.
what? They had some of the same
You
issues.
know who
we had.
drafted them dudes in Kansas City? Andy Reid told them who he wanted. Andy Reid has more pull than Dorsey. Andy Reid been in this league.
Oh, of course.
Andy Reid told
Reid is
him
the
who
real
to draft. Yeah, Andy Reid told that dude to draft them guys, not Dorsey. So let's not give him credit that he don't deserve. Andy Reid put that team together just like he put the Philadelphia Eagles together. That was worth a damn when they was under him.
But
My-
who was there first? Andy Reid was there first, right?
Where?
I think so.
In Kansas City.
Yeah.
So you would think that Andy Reid definitely had some input in bringing him in, which means he wanted to work side by side with Dorsey.
That don't mean that. That probably means that he knew he can tell him who to draft and he would get it, which is the same thing Pat is trying to say that Abrams can do for Judge.
No, that's good enough.
A yes man for Judge, not for Mara.
Well, I'm gonna listen to you guys talk
Please
it out.
do not trade for Wilson. Do not.
If you want me to send Lou in and go crazy.
No,
Adam.
I feel like shit and I'm exhausted. We only gonna go for like maybe 30 more minutes, bro. I can't do it tonight. I'm
All right, do your thing. Take someone else in there, maybe hit squad, whatever you want. I'll be watching.
taking
But,
no one in. No one has nothing.
Yo,
it's always fun talking to you guys.
Nah, I love you, bro. Have a,
I love
have
you
a
guys
happy
too,
New
you know
Year. If
that.
I don't see you guys before New Year's, all you guys have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody.
But we'll see each other.
we don't
You'll
see
be
each
in the
other.
college streams this weekend, right?
Yeah,
that's
I'm doing
true.
the Saturday one at 5 o'clock. I think I signed up for that one.
Yeah, Joel's doing one right now, obviously. So.
Yeah, if I'm not better, I'll do it because I'm committed to it. So
Joe doing the Orange Bowl too on New Year's Eve.
Hey, I heard Gettleman's gonna be at the Bears game this week. He's wearing slippers and a bathrobe.
So let's all meet and throw rocks at him. Shit.
All right, guys.
We might actually need to lose that game too. Shit.
Well, that's the thing, Pat. I was gonna ask you, man, because I think the Bears are gonna win. That hurts us, right?
No, I mean it hurts us as far as the Bears pick, but it might make our pick go up even further. The Jets or the Texans can win because Carolina is playing terrible, and we beat Carolina. So us,
There he is.
with the same record.
There he is. Adam's in the house.
Come on, Adam.
Was good.
Now I gotta stay on for 2 minutes because Adam's gonna come on.
yo, let's get it. Let's get it.
I'm not getting any. Getting divorced because you guys. You heard that?
Oh man.
Please don't say that. I'm literally
Don't do
going through
that.
that right now. I'm literally going through that right now. Please don't bring that up.
Well, I'm gonna get off. Probably Adam's gonna pop on for a minute, but I'm gonna get off. I'll be watching. All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, man. Yeah,
All
we'll
right, have a
spend some
good
time
night,
with the
man.
queen, bro.
Take it easy, Miz, man.
Yep.
All right,
I'm
nah.
gonna get off in a second too.
Oh,
I
man.
ain't been feeling good the past couple of days.
I got this crazy cough myself, man.
Got the
I don't
damn
know what's going
Omarion.
on. Something in the air, man.
Got that damn Omarion, man. It's that bullshit.
He said Omarion.
But last thing I want to talk about before I get off, man. We want to talk about.
You can't get off. You the co-host. The hell?
Hey, man. I'm starting to feel dizzy. I'm laying over it. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't feel good about you.
We did a good strong hour.
Yeah.
I'll give him about 15, 20 more minutes, see if Adam want to pop on or whatever. Take their takes and then shut it down because, boy, brother needs some tea and honey.
I heard that. I need some of that too, bro. I need some of that too. Word.
What's good, fellas? Oh, man. Man, Adam, thanks for the check-in earlier, man. Adam shot me a text and was like, hope everything is okay, bro. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, bro. Facts.
What was y'all talking about? What was y'all debating last night? I didn't get to catch the stream last night because I was out.
You was in the damn debate. I left. Y'all was debating on whether to fire Joe Judge. It was you and Adam against Joel and Pat and me, and then I left.
I wasn't on that. Wasn't me. It wasn't me, brother.
That was Ash Money.
Oh, that's right. Ash Money and Adam. Yeah. He said that wasn't me, brother.
Yeah.
He hit me with the my dear sweet brother Noomspa.
Right.
Oh shit.
I had to go back and check. I checked in on y'all, hit that thumbs up, but I was out and about, so I couldn't really listen too much last night.
Oh, shit, I feel like somebody was river dancing on my back. Yo, this shit is crazy. Whoa.
Shit bad, bro.
I was a shit storm. Well, damn. What you got, the runs?
But that's what this whole the whole debate, the whole thing about the Joe Judge thing, man. Like, guys got some really good takes, man. Like, I'm getting swayed both ways, both directions, man. Like, honestly, because I've been hearing good, strong points, man,
Now
on both
I got
sides of that
whiskey,
argument.
honey, and lemon, but I don't have no ginger tea. I normally do, but we was all sick about a month ago, so we ran out. But I do have whiskey, honey, and lemon. And vapor rub. Keep that shit. That's a classic. Can't go wrong with Vicks, baby.
Yes, sir.
Good old classic.
I don't know. Did y'all see Adam's video he uploaded earlier? The hurry up video he uploaded earlier, man.
Yeah, I commented on it. I said, "Good guy, bro."
he went hard on that thing, man. He went hard on that.
I told him I don't gotta agree with you to support, and I gave him a thumbs up.
He went hard on that video, man. He had me because that's what I'm saying. The takes are
Nick,
so good
your
from both sides,
I saw
man.
your comment. You was like, "You got me swayed."
Like, damn.
I don't know which side to be on because I agree with both
I
points.
commented. I said, "I don't gotta agree with you to support," and I gave him a thumbs up. True. Unfortunately, this fan base might be smarter than the people running it. That's true.
I think the fan base is all smarter than Mara.
Well, that's a fact.
Ultimately, that is the biggest problem, and that's the unfortunate part. Is he's the one that's not going to change. He ain't going
One
nowhere.
of them damn chairs y'all got, boy. This damn chair be killing me.
Oh yeah, I hate my chair.
I don't even want to know. I'm sitting here dealing with an old rickety ass, old school desk chair, man. I ain't got
Me
that
too.
fancy shit y'all got, bro.
I don't either. That's what I said. I said, I gotta get me one of them chairs y'all got. This shit killing me.
I got to get myself one of those comfy chairs, man.
I think.
Especially as long as we be sitting down doing these shits, boy. My hurt. Hey, wait, 577. 577. You said okay, so can I still make it with can I still make it with the whiskey, honey, and lemon? Do I need the ginger tea, or can I just drink it without the tea? No, that's what my back pain making me talk about, motherfucker.
Yo,
I mean,
Out of an asshole. Asshole.
damn. I feel him though. He's right.
What's
I mean,
up, big dude?
the Giants are so bad that we can go off on a tangent talking about chairs and shit.
look
like
what
that,
you've done,
bro.
Mara. Look what you've done, Mara. Somebody tweeting this at Mara, bro. You made us so bad that we're having a conversation about chairs.
Shit, no, this chair that made my back hurt so bad that we having a conversation about chairs.
I'll tell you what.
So what I do, I just heat up. I'm scared to heat up some liquor though. Dude. How the fuck you heat up whiskey?
Yeah, I can cook the alcohol off of it if you want.
Hey,
Like,
fellas, I'm gonna probably see you guys Thursday or Friday. I don't know. I might do something on Friday, or if anybody else got anything going.
Yeah, I'm calling the game.
This brother finally done called me. Got that stomach turning and everything.
Man, damn, you done let Omarion come in your house.
Man, some cousin hit juke.
You gonna have to sing it out. Oh,
Right.
Yo, to the person that subscribed, I appreciate it. I just hit 150.
All right, good shit, Logan.
I appreciate
You
it.
just hit 150.
Yep.
Good.
Congratulations, brother.
Now it's time to get you to 200.
Damn that shit.
Am
Ugh,
I-
I hate anything cinnamon. God almighty.
I hate
And
cinnamon.
just an announcement: Oklahoma is destroying Oregon at halftime, 30-3. My goodness.
Is Thibodeau doing anything, or is he not playing?
Thibodeau's not playing. That was the best thing for him not to play. But they tearing their ass up.
It's an Irish car bomb. Goodness gracious, bro.
Okay, so I got some elderberry tea. I can make some tea as hot as I can. Pour the whiskey in it. What, a shot glass worth? Sorry, I'm trying to get a remedy for a hot
I
toddy.
mean, you don't need much more than that unless you actually try and get.
No, I just want to sweat this shit. I don't drink.
I heard some that you could put onions on the bottom of your feet and
Yeah,
put socks on.
that'll draw the
Oh,
fever
yeah,
out, but I
that's
don't have a
like
fever.
garlic.
Actually, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
you're
That
the,
looks like garlic.
I think Lou's the one who taught me about that.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's onions.
Old school remedy, bro.
It'll get rid of the fever, but I don't have a fever. Otherwise, I'd have did that.
Mm.
Some people about old enough to hear this. Hear what, Adam?
Oh man, but
Okay, bet.
one thing we can all agree on, it's gonna be one hell of an off season, fellas. Once again, man. One
Hey,
hell of an off season.
and we all gonna be making fire ass content. We're gonna lock this down. But man, yeah, man. And thank all you guys for coming in. Anybody have any final thoughts about Madden or the conspiracies that's been coming out? Everybody got a few minutes to speak their piece, plug their channel. And Logan, cover your ears. Adam's about to say something.
Bro.
He said, Logan, cover your ears.
Trust me, bro. I've heard a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Oh, you say most of the stuff on YouTube. The hell you talking about? Curse like a damn trucker. Oh, he ain't say nothing. He gonna say laugh my ass off. All right. Jeff says, I got a question for y'all. What is your biggest storylines going into the offseason for the Giants besides the GM search? O-line. That's my answer. Next.
O-line.
O-line, then edge rusher.
O-line,
Yeah,
edge rush,
yeah,
O-line.
I'm definitely I'm on the same talking that same talk. That O-line, man, absolutely needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed properly this off season. It needs to be taken care of, man. Even I agree with the edge rusher thing too, but the O-line is so much more significant. I feel like that needs to be. We can't do anything offensively with the offensive line the way it is right
Oh
now.
shit! Thank you for saying that. Because that's something I wanted to bring up earlier that people seem to forget. Because a lot of them wasn't old enough to actually witness him coach. Yes, great coach, great broadcaster, great human being. Also, the only coach in the NFL with the highest winnings percentage ever, still to this day. Better than Belichick, better than Shula, better than Parcells, better than all of them. He had a 75, 76% win rate. Out of 10 years, he had 103 wins and 32 losses. There's not a coach who had a higher winning percentage than John Madden. And that gets left in the background because it was so long ago since he coached. He retired from coaching in 78.
Yeah, he coached through the '70s, the Raider teams in the
Yeah.
'70s.
Yeah.
I mean, they were some good football teams, man. So, and hats off,
So
like I
look,
said, John Madden, man. He's a legend, man. No matter what, man.
but you know
Not
how
just a
people be
coach,
like,
not just a commentary. He's just a legend. Like I said, a football ambassador. You know what I mean?
right,
In
the
general.
face of football. But people like to say, Belichick and Tom Landry and Lombardi, and they forget
Parcells.
John Madden, number one, highest winnings percentage out of any coach in history.
Well, I think they give those guys
His
more of the
name needs to be
benefit of that
mentioned.
because of their longevity coaching. I mean, John Madden was a
10
great coach
years.
in the '70s, but those other guys, you're talking about some guys that have been like Belichick's been how long he's been coaching the Patriots for now? I mean, you're
20
talking
plus
about
years.
you're talking about Don Shula back in the day with the Dolphins. That was years.
Yeah, he had what, 360 something wins as the head
Yeah,
coach of the Dolphins?
years coaching the Dolphins, man. So,
But think about it. They still didn't break his percentage. He
well, I
still had a
mean,
higher winning percentage.
I'm
mean,
not
the
gonna
more
sit here and
years
knock
you
John
play,
Madden. I'm not gonna knock
He played
John
10 years.
Madden.
He coached for 10 years.
But if he maybe coached those extra 10 years like or so like those other guys did, you never know how that could be either. So at the same time, I'm not, like I said, by no means knocking John Madden or what you're talking about by any means, though, man. Shout
No, I
out
know what you
John Madden,
mean.
rest in peace. It's just that he didn't coach as long as those other guys did. He got out of the coaching thing and went into broadcasting and all other things and moved
And I
on.
agree with you. I was just saying that that's something that gets lost in the shuffle that people don't mention. He had the highest win percentage out of any coach in the NFL history. But because it was so long ago, a lot of people don't know that. That's all I was saying. But yeah, you're right. Maybe had he coached for 15, 20 years, that percentage would have been different.
I mean, it's almost like he kind of knew when to get off that Raider train, actually, because the
Well, it
Raiders
started
had
giving him health problems.
the Raiders they had some pretty rough teams in the early '80s, man. Yeah, like if they
Transcends
were
the game. That's right, Adam. It's John Madden transcends the game.
absolutely, he's absolutely an icon.
Oh man, but fellas, man, yeah, I don't. I gotta get off of here, bro. I'm in bad
for
shape.
real, man. It's crazy. It just started hitting me too.
All right, fellas, man, it's
Pause.
always fun, man. But y'all get better, man.
Hey Mac, thanks you for stopping in, bro. I'm about to go back and replay yours because I just got home and got out the shower when I put this up, so I didn't get to see nobody stream.
Yeah, me and Seth Slay on earlier, had a pretty decent little show for about an hour.
I'm about to go watch it, comment, and thumbs up on it, and then lay it down
Yep.
after I make this hottie toddy. Oh man.
All right,
All
brother.
right, man. Represent Big Blue Crew.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, plug your channels. Go ahead and subscribe to Mac the Giants fan. Subscribe to Big Pat Sports Talk, Locust Giants on, and sub me up if you'd like to. I greatly appreciate it. It really helps. But see you back here next Wednesday for another True Big Blue podcast. And we'll see you Tuesday at the Giants Cave. And we'll see you Wednesday at the NFC East Roundup. And
we'll
the
see you
Blue Crew
Monday.
will see you
5:30 on Friday.
And on Monday at 9:00, we'll see us, me, Adam, and Zion on the Premium Takes podcast.
There
Big
you
Blue
go.
Crew representing, bro.
Yes, sir. Oh,
right.
shit, bro.
All right.